Brown Eyes. Written by Paul Stewart. Published by Penguin Readers. Brown Eyes. A man is pretending to be me, I said. Why? Every year, Peter and Susan Red go to the Leon-Sea for their holiday. Every year, they stay at the Hotel Vista. This year, things start go to wrong. A man there is pretending to be Peter. But why? Is he friendly or dangerous? What does he want? Will this, their 13th visit to Leon-Sea, be their last visit? Paul Stewart lives with his family in Brighton and writes books for children and young people. He has one son. His name is Joseph, and one daughter. Her name is Anne. He was a teacher of English in Greece, Germany, and Sri Lanka. He went to Kenya, India, Australia, Malaysia, America, and all over Europe too, but never to Leon-Sea. So now this is a story. We arrived at our hotel in Leon-Sea early on Saturday morning. The Hotel Vista, Susan and I always stay there. It is very quiet, very friendly, and the food is good. I opened the door and we walked in. Good morning, Miss Brown, I said. Mr. and Miss Reed, she said. It's good to see you again. It's good to be here again, I said. Cup of tea, cup of coffee, she said. Before you go up to your room. Thank you, I said. Where's little Mary? Asked by Susan. Mary was Miss Brown's daughter. She's in the garden, said Mrs. Brown, and laughed. But she's not little. Mary's tall young woman now. How old is she? Susan asked. 15, said Miss Brown. 15, I said. Time goes quickly. I know, said Miss Brown. Now coffee, before I forget again. She walked to the kitchen. Susan looked at me. I love it here, Peter, she said. I know, I said. When did we first met? She asked. 11 years ago. 12? Wrong, I said. It'll be 13 years on Tuesday, I said. In the cafe. Ah, yes, said Susan, and shut her eyes. The door opened, and Mary Brown looked in. He was tall. "Hello," she said to Susan, and "Hello again," she said to me. Again, I said, "Yes, don't you remember? Yesterday, you said hello in the bank." "Oh, yes," I said, and pretended to remember that was you. Mary smiled. "I'll see you later," she said. "Goodbye." "Goodbye," we said. She shut the door. Susan turned to me. "Why did you pretend?" she asked me. "I don't know," I said. The sun was hot in the afternoon. After lunch, Susan and I walked down the sea. We swam. The water was cold. After that, we walked across the corner coffee house. It was a small, quiet cafe near the sea. The cafe, the place Susan and I first met. We went back there every year. I opened the door and looked in. John Connor smiled. "Hello again," he said to me. We ran across the road after the man. "Don't go," I shouted. But he didn't hear me. We ran to the bank. There we stopped. We looked up and down the road. The man was not there. "Where is he?" I said. "I don't know," said Susan. "But we'll see him again." "I know we will. Come on," she said. "We'll have a drink at the hotel." We walked back to the hotel vista slowly. Susan looked in the cafe and restaurants, but she didn't see the man again, luckily. "Perhaps we'll never see him again," I said. "Perhaps," said Susan quietly. We arrived at the door of the hotel at 10 o'clock. We heard the television. We walked in. We saw Mrs. Brown, but she didn't see us. I smiled. "Sleeping," I said. I walked over to the bed. On it, face down, was a photograph. Who was the picture of? I was afraid to look. I took the photograph in my hand and slowly turned it over. "What the?" I shouted. "What is it?" said Susan. "Can I see?" "You can," I said, "but it isn't good." I gave her the photo. Susan looked at it and jumped back. "But it's you and me," she said. "I know," I said, and looked again. It was Susan and me, down at the sea. "That man," Susan excitedly. "He was there. It's his photo." Suddenly we heard a noise. The door opened, and there he was, the man with my face, and he had a gun in his hand. Very clever, he said quietly. Excuse me, he shut the door. Don't move, he said, or I will shoot. I looked at the man in the honor. In horror. I wasn't afraid of his gun. I was afraid of his face. He had my nose, my mouth, my ears, my hair. You know him? I said. Yes, Susan answered. His name is Stephen Griggs. I worked with him 15 years ago. I love you, said the man. We were happy. You wasn't. I never loved you. You're a bad woman, Susan barked. He said, you pretended to love me. I did not. And my name is Reed now. Stay back, he shouted. Susan stopped. Those cold brown eyes. She said, ugh. Did he always have my face? I asked. No, said Susan. I don't know the game he's playing. You will, said the man. You will. He looked at the photograph in my hand. That's for you, he said. You can look at it. And remember what? I said. He smiled. Your last walk with Susan, he said, before you go to prison. Prison? I said. Why? Because you shot Susan, he said. I didn't. You will. He said, watch. And he turned and put the gun to Susan's head. No! I shouted and jumped at him. The man shot. I shut my eyes. When I looked again, Susan was on the floor, dead. Then suddenly, the man turned and hit me on the head. It all went black. I fell down. After some time, I opened my eyes again. I remembered. You shot her, I said. No, the man smiles. With my smile. You shot her. My plan is going very well. I tried to get up, but it was difficult. I loved her, I said quietly. I too, he said. But she was with you all those years now. He smiled again and looked at the gun. Do you plan to shoot me too? I said. No, he said. I said, you're going to prison. Perhaps there you will understand. For me, Susan was dead before I shot her. Now she's dead for you too. He came over to me and put his hands over mouth. Then I heard Mr. Brown at the door. "What are you doing in there?" he shouted. I said. "I shot Susan," the man answered for me, "and now she's dead." "Dead? Dead? Oh, Susan, I'm sorry." "There," he said, "now she'll phone the police, and they'll come for you." He walked over to the window and looked out. "Remember," I said, "you've got my face too." "Not for long," he said. In horror, I watched him slowly take the marks from his face. "Now there's only one," Peter read again. "You? But, oh, and one more thing. Here you are. Before I knew it, the gun was in my hand. You can give it to the police." He laughed. I watched the door. It opened and 4 policemen walked in. They looked at the dead woman. They looked at the gun in my hand. The first policeman walked over to me. "You come with us," he said. I didn't. "It isn't. I can't," I said. "I didn't want to go to prison." "Come with us," he said again. "You can talk later. We've got all night."